Okay, I'm back. So let's get cracking with the rest of these letters. So next one that we have is Zayin. And that's what the ancient Hebrew symbol looks like. Now, Mr. Bender says that this is like an unknown agricultural implement, which that could be. It could be, I guess. I really couldn't figure out how you would hook that up to an ox or anything like that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if it went this way, maybe, and the dirt shot out there or something. I don't know. But remember our perspective. We're thinking like people, the ancient Hebrews that had just gone through the flood. Okay. There's a movie a long time ago, Firefox. It had Clint Eastwood in it and everything. And he was supposed to pretend like he was like some kind of Russian person or something like that and everything. And he was getting all this instruction from this Russian person on how to be Russian. And he just couldn't get it. So the dude finally says, "You must think in the Russian." You know, so we must think in ancient Hebrew. Okay, that's us. Okay, just right after all the stuff that happened with the flood and everything. Okay, so what I think is this looks like a guy. This looks like a guy laying down on the ground with a shield or something, shielding himself from things that may be falling from the sky. That's the first thing I saw. Okay. Now, Mr. Bender says, so this is some kind of unknown agricultural implement. So the associated definitions for this would be harvest, crop, food, cut, broad. With me thinking it's somebody trying to protect themselves from something falling from the sky, I added these definitions: shield, protect, cover, guarding from something falling from above. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Now, now this one right here is kind of hard for Americans or Westerners to say. Okay. And every time I say a Hebrew word, it's got this letter in it. My wife always says it sounds like I'm like harking something up or something like that. But it has to come from the back of your throat. Okay. So you go like that, and you pronounce it chit, 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 like that. Okay. So this is called chit. And this one right here is really interesting. Okay, I was really excited when I saw this one. So this is what the ancient looks like right here. Okay, and he has the definitions as tent wall. The reason he says tent wall is because maybe it looks like a tent with separating walls, here inside the tent. Tent wall, string. Half, because it looks like you're cutting something in half. There's two equal parts: outside, inside, arrow, sling stone. And the reason these definitions right here are associated with it is because from dividing of the flesh, whenever an arrow hits an animal or something like that, it splits the flesh. Or like David hit Goliath with that stone and forehead, I split his head. It hit him so hard, everything. So those are those definitions. I had two things, two objects, two events, separate. They're separate or separated, yet always connected, or always together. And that's what we have with this body coming around. There's always two events. And remember, one happens around Passover. And I tell you what, guys, that is just beyond all of my comprehension. How God makes this thing go hundreds of years out into orbit and everything, but yet it still comes by during Passover and then around the time of Sukkot. That just absolutely blows my mind. But anyway, that's another story. Okay. So two things, two objects, two events, separated yet always connected or always together. That's what I have. Now, these are some other forms of this. Okay, this one is I think he calls that Middle Semitic or something like that. But still, we have two things connected. Okay, two things connected here. Okay, this is the modern way to write that. Still, two things connected, two pillars, two legs connected, yet separate. You see, so that all fits. He said that another version of this could be the man, looking at the great sight. I love that dude. Yeah, but now this one, this is where it gets really interesting right here, boy. I tell you what. Okay, this one, he says that this one is associated to that it could be a form of that. Okay. now I'm going to dig into this one just a little bit. Okay, because this one is I've come to some pretty firm conclusions about this one. Okay, so now why in the world would somebody who has just gone through a catastrophic flood and more than likely seen this thing pass, several times in their long life, why would they make a letter like this? Huh? Let's look at this. Now, this is the one that Mr. Benner says is a string or a chord. Now, you ask me, I mean, that it'd be kind of hard to put a string and a chord like that, and I don't really see any use, practical use for that. Okay, but let's remember our perspective. Okay, they're trying to communicate things to people in the future who are going to have a different language, different way of speaking, different writing techniques, and everything. Let's look at this one really close. Okay, I don't think this is a string or a chord at all. Okay, I'm just going to erase that. What I think that this is saying, I'm going to draw this over here so you can see it. Okay, so you can see it real good. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got this thing here like that. Okay, and we have four equal circles, and then we have I don't know, maybe part of a 1. Okay, let's look at this. The first thing that I thought of when I saw this was they're telling us how many times this came around since Canaan, because that was the last big event, was Cain's flood or Canaan's flood. So they're telling us how many times this came around since that first time. Okay. And the reason I thought of that was because Mr. Benner said that there used to be a letter like this. Okay. There used to be a letter like that. So when I looked at that, I thought, you know what? I bet that that is one of Canaan's letters that he actually inscribed on that stone to let people know that, hey, this thing has come once and it's going to come again. Okay. That's a pretty different perspective on that. And he says that this letter, excuse me, he says that this letter right here was just lost, sometime in antiquity. It's the lost Hebrew letter. And I can see that. I can see why it's lost. This was probably one of the letters that Canaan used to, communicate, hey, this thing's coming back around. But the reason it's lost is because they didn't need it anymore. They didn't need it anymore. After they saw it, the second time, the third time, they didn't need that letter anymore because they already knew that, hey, every few hundred years, it's going to come back. So they just stopped using it. Okay. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. This one right here. Okay. Let's look at this one. Okay. So we're going to say in the Cain's video, I said that that Canaan was born in 324, and the planet 7X Nibiru came by and blew up the springs and everything in 323. Now remember, the gestational period is only 9 months. Okay, so it is conceivable that Canaan was conceived like early in the year of 323, even maybe just before the spring, maybe before Passover, like that. And that he was born actually in or at the end of the year 323 instead of 324. So I'm just going to go with that. Okay, it's really not going to make a huge difference, but God likes to do things in patterns, so I think I'm going to go with that. So let's say Canaan was born in the year 323. Okay, the same year that the planet 7X came around, the body came around. Now Noah was born in 1056. Okay, so let's say Noah born 1056. Canaan born in 323. Okay, so let's subtract these. So that's 3. Let's see here. It's going to be 733 years. Okay, 733 years from the time that Canaan was born and the time that Noah was born. Okay, now then, when was the flood? The flood happened in the 600th year of Noah's life. Okay, so Noah was 600. So let's add 600, okay, to that, and we get 1333. Okay, so it was 1333 years from the first time that the body came around, okay, until the flood. 1333 years. Okay, let's remember that. Okay, now then, what can we do with that? Okay, well, if we take this 323 years, the very first revolution of this thing, and we multiply that times 4. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, so we get you'll see this 323 times 4. Okay, it can be 2 2 1 9. That's 1,292 years. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do this 1292 and divide it by 1333. Okay. And you already see that these are very close. These are very, very close. Okay. So this right here represents the total number of years taken 323 years, multiplying it by 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. That gives you 292 years. Okay. There were 1,333 years between the birth of Canaan, the first time it came around, and Noah's flood. Okay. I'll just put flood out here. Flood year. Okay. Flood year. Okay. So let's divide this one by this 1,333. Okay. This is equal to 3%. I think it's like 3.08%. Can you believe that? I knocked my microphone off. Hang on just a second. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I got so excited I knocked my microphone off. Okay. Oh my gosh, can you believe that? This one symbol, this one letter, okay, is actually telling us that, okay, yeah, this thing's going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 more times before it hits the earth, or something catastrophic, happens to the earth. Is that not crazy? And I can say that with almost a 97% accuracy. Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? And y'all can check my math on this. You can check my math on this. But yeah, that is an amazing letter right there. An amazing symbol right here. Okay. I saw that and I worked that out and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You absolutely have got to be kidding me, Lord. But see, he leaves stuff. He lets things, just linger until somebody picks it up. And I'll tell you what, good old Jim from Alabama, I've been picking up a lot of stuff. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for letting me see it. That is amazing. That right there is absolutely amazing. And I guarantee you, no scientist, no researcher, nobody else has ever come up with an explanation for that one like that. But I can, like I say, I can guarantee you with 97% accuracy, that is right there. Okay. So the only way that I can see this right here is connected to this is that it would be two separate events. I think this one right here was just basically a marker, and who knows, Canaan could have actually written that one, in what he wrote, way back when that stuff happened to him. It's like maybe he figured it out some way. Okay, so it's going to go through 4 more times, and then boom, something's going to hit the earth, something bad's going to hit the earth again. So, oh my gosh, is that not exciting, guys? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's go on. Okay, so this next one, is tet, okay? And in Mr. Benner's book, he has this as a wicker or clay container, and this means mud or clay. Now I can see how this one would be the mud, be related to mud and clay and everything. But what I see here is I see I see this as two things overlaid. Okay, this is what I see. I see this as this plus this, okay? An X and an O. Now, let's talk about the X first, okay? Because there's another letter where it's actually crossed. Well, it's straight up and down. It's crossed this way, okay? And we'll get into that one later. But let's look at this one here. Now, my wonderful dad taught me archery, when I was real little. That was actually the very first trophy I ever won was at an archery tournament. And so I'm very familiar with archery. I think, I'm sure the ancient Hebrews were too. What I think this is, this one means no or no more. Okay? Because if you think about it, as you have your arrow knocked, okay, and you're about to shoot an animal, okay, your bow is straight up and down. Okay. Now, if that animal darts or something, you're gonna lose your aim. Okay. And you don't want to lose sight of that animal. So what's the first thing you do is you drop your bow. You drop it like this. You let the arrow come back and you drop it like this. Okay. And they knew that some people were left-handed, some people were right-handed. So I think that this is a pictogram of somebody saying, nope, can't shoot. Basically a left-handed and right-handed person saying, nope, can't shoot. Because that's exactly the way your bow would lay. Okay. You can't really see this. Maybe I'll get a picture. Maybe I'll get my wife to do a picture of it. That's exactly the way your bow would lay. You'd aim with the bow straight up and down. If you lost your aim or the animal darted, you'd release the arrow and bring it down. Okay. So basically, a left-handed, right-handed person do it this way. Left-handed person do it this way. So that would say no. No shot, no. This right here is related to another letter that we're going to get to, pay, which looks like this. Okay. That right there to me looks like, they're looking at the land over the horizon. Okay. So if we take that and we flip that up, it'll look like that, because they couldn't draw three-dimensional stuff. They just had to draw flat stuff. So I think what this means is this means the whole land, okay, or the whole earth. And then you put the two together here, and it means, and it's flat too. It's flat. Okay. That, like I say, they couldn't draw three-dimensional shapes or anything. So I think this means this. Earth or land no longer flat. that the earth or land was no longer flat like it was before the flood. After flood, that's when all the mountains were. Okay. I put up here, object hit its mark. Okay. Really, the mark one is like this. Okay. So, I mean, it could mean that, but I think that it means that earth or land no more flat. And this is a little bit later later version of this, and it kind of relates to a container. Okay, so when that meteor hit the earth to take away all the water, actually it was two meteors yoked together, but you had to wait until the Noah's flood video for that. That crater would look like a basket, just like this. And this little thing right here signify it filling with water or whatever. Is God's word not amazing? Absolutely amazing. Okay. Yod. Sorry about that. Let me move it down here. Oh, I'm going to have a picture of this without that glare and everything. So it looks like this. Okay. Looks like that. But this right here, let's see here in Mr. Britter's book, it's got arm, hand, throw, make, work, anything to do with your hands. And it looks like an arm and a hand. It sure does. But looking at it from the perspective right after the flood, though, I see it as broken bones, broken limbs, dead spirit. Maybe it could mean drought. Maybe that's like a little seedling, and it's got, it's not growing anymore. The growth is cut off. Okay. So, like I say, I'm sorry about that glare. Let's go to the next one. Oh, baby. Okay. Here we go. Now, you thought this one was good? Wait till you see this one, baby. Okay. So this is Kaph. Okay. Kaph. And it's, it looks like this. And the book definition is open palm. And the meaning is bend, curve, subdue, tame. Bend, curve, subdue, tame. Okay. Man, you ain't gonna believe this. Okay, here's me, thinking in ancient Hebrew. Okay. Large fireball falling from the sky. Now you can look up videos of fireballs in the sky, even in recent times here, and they look exactly like that. They sure do. So maybe that was something that they saw. Okay. Now then, I also put this down as a technique for measurement. Okay. Technique for measurement. What the heck would you measure with that? With an open palm, what would you measure with that? Well, you might measure this. How big was it in the sky? What is one of the things that if all this stuff happened to you and you're just like, what is going on? How can we communicate all this stuff? We gotta tell them, hey, when it came around, we gotta tell. I wanted to, somebody would pop up and say, hey, we got to tell them how big it was. Okay. How big it was in the sky that we saw. And then, Noah or whoever would be like, okay, man, hey, get on it, buddy. Get on it. Figure out some way to do it. Well, whoever did this was dang genius. Okay. Now you look at this, and it's supposed to be an open palm. Okay. But yeah, you open palm. Okay. You got 1, 2, 3. You got 1, 2, 3. And you only got two things here. Excuse me. um, you only got two little hickey doos right here. Well, what if it was two open palms? What do you think about that? Because I think that's exactly what it was. Now I'm going to try to turn around and I'm going to try to do this in the camera here, but I want y'all to see this, okay? So take a look at that and then take a look at this. You see this? Can you see that? And you notice how it's not connected here. The letter's not connected. So that means it's two open palms not connected. Okay. So as they looked up in the sky, that's how they measured this thing coming in that destroyed the Earth's crust and created the mountains and got rid of all the water. That's how big it was. Whoa! What do you think about that? Is that not crazy? Whoa, mama. That's how big it was. Yep. Whoever thought of doing it that way, they were a dang genius right there. Okay. Now, the next time the moon's out, the full moon's out, I want y'all to do that. Do that just like that. And you see how big the moon is compared to this. Okay. I bet you it's going to be a lot bigger, this part right here. So let's see if we can like support that some way. Okay. And some of you are out there saying, yeah, Jim, boy, you are clever old thing, ain't you? Coming up with that. Yeah. I mean, but let's see if we can support it. So this is a later version of this one. Okay. So how would this relate to that? They look totally different. They look totally different. How in the heck did you get that from that? Well, I will tell you how you got it. Okay. What you do is you put this up here, just like you're measuring. Okay. And then keep an eye on this one here. Okay. Of where it was. And then you turn 3 fingers over like that. And it's the same width. It's the same width as this. Woohoo, baby! That is the way you communicate stuff through time, right there. Right there. Whew. I got to take a break. These lights are getting way too hot. So I got to take a break. And when we come back, we'll go through some more. But woo, man, that makes me excited. Lord, have mercy. See you in just a minute.